Hey there YouTube, JT Serenity Farms prepping here. I've gotten some information since my video this morning that I think needs to be shared. Potential trump card. Earlier in my this morning's video I had asked if maybe Trump had a card up his sleeve. This could be the ace card up his sleeve. I got a couple different opinions from other people that are much more connected than I am, and they're a little bit different, but after I give them to you they'll make some sense. I don't know if this happens or not. These people are way more connected than I am, so I tend to take their information and they verify it, and then I share it with you. But I'm hoping, because we're out of time. Okay, so there is plan A. It's complicated, of course, and the preferred method to save this country, but it's I don't know how I feel about it, so let's get to it. Alright. This is going to count on our frenemies. And they're going to have to be our new BFFs. Yeah. According to the sources, the president is currently working with foreign entities, aka countries, to assist because he has no choice. And Trump is talking supposedly to Putin, and Putin is talking to Iran, trying to get them to stand down and denuclearize. Then Israel gets on board and will send troops here to America. And in a moment you'll find out why we're going to need them. Okay, so remember during the traitorous Obama regime, him and Kerry signed a pact with 29 other countries that allows the UN to come into this country if they declare that the country needs them to take control and settle things down. So, if President Trump remains in power, he will declare under Executive Order 13959 that China is an enemy of the United States, and there will be absolutely no more trading at all, because the Executive Order states no trades with enemy act. Then trading would be directly redirected primarily to Iran, mostly for them helping us out. And it will help them out because they're in very dire straits economically and socially themselves. This could achieve many more goals than we ever thought, all just by saving America. Okay, so Putin is working on Iran. Putin will be a beneficiary of much of this, which sometimes you gotta give to get. I don't know that we're giving him anything, probably some business. Turkey also would likely come to U.S. bringing their soldiers to help us out, and they actually said something about that in a press conference last week, kind of letting a little cat out of the bag that they would be more than willing to come help if they were ever asked. It was kind of out of the blue at the time. So the players are Russia, Turkey, Israel, Iran, and of course the Chi-Coms. Now supposedly there are 40 generals across the U.S. and the globe who are ready to help if Trump can drop the hammer. He's also going to use Executive Order 13848, which deals specifically with foreign interference in our election. He'll also use 13959, as we said, enemy of the state, declaring China, and the Insurrection Act, which, according to these two sources, has not been signed yet, even though we'd heard it had. General McInerney, who's very closely working with the administration, said that he hadn't even heard it. So I don't think it has been yet, because someone would have leaked it. Okay? Now, remember, the deep state, the Democrats, the military-industrial complex all want a war with China, because that's what they do. They make billions and trillions of dollars sending everyone else's kids to go fight just to pad their pockets. It literally serves no strategic purpose for our country. Not anymore. I don't know if any war ever did, except we had to deal with Japan, okay? But remember also, Britain and the Democrats here want to work hand in hand with China. As in, the Dems here want to give China America. China was promised American soil by the Democrats during the Hussein Obama regime, and everything has been working towards that. The big catch is they want the land, not the people. They want to do the same thing to us that the Democrats are going to do. They were going to work together. All right, so China needs our resources. They're in terrible, terrible situation over there. If the Three Gorges Dam lets go, their food supply, everything, they had a deal. Okay? So, right now, China has thousands of troops in British Columbia, Canada, thanks to Trader Pierre Trudeau, not young Trudeau, up there. They're winter training to come through our northern border up around the Washington state area up there, and they also have many, many troops located just inside the Mexican border as well to come from our southern border. Okay, so the Canada is going to have the most potable water in the entire world within 5 years as the northern pole shifts a little bit. Water will be the new oil in a few years. China will control Canada and the US and have all the fresh water in the world, and they can extort everyone for it. China will do the same thing to Canadian citizens as the Democrats and the Chinese want to do to American citizens. So how did this all come about is James Comey, that piece of shit. Hammer and Scorecard was developed for us to spy on other countries to get intel, not to rig elections, do any of that. Comey stole it and shipped it and Damien Onion machines over to China. China rebranded them and sent them back for the election in November. Okay, so right now our U.S. subfleet has been given a open authority green light that if China attacks the U.S. from Canada or Mexico, to nuke them. Yeah. Okay, so the 40 generals that are going to be on board, they would need to position between 7,000 to 10,000 troops in each of 18 blue cesspool cities to prevent riots, looting, burning, assaulting, and they would also be the ones who conduct military tribunals for all the traitors that we know are amongst our ranks. Okay, but these generals are asking for the support of the U.S. to be guaranteed. Okay, now I don't assume, and they didn't clarify, that that means our U.S. generals, because they have the support of our president. He has given them more funding than any president in history. We've rebuilt the military. I'm assuming this refers to the generals in the overseas countries, because once they commit to help us, there'll be some backlash. But that's not what I think they're worried about. There are frenemies. I am sure that they are looking for some type of financial support, weapons, equipment. It's going to be one of those things that's probably worth the cost, as in saving the country is probably worth the cost. And if we can become friendly with Iran, and Russia gets to be the big dog, and China would be decimated, I don't know how they'll act out. They very likely are going to try and start something with Taiwan to get us all distracted over there. While that happens, why we need extra frenemy countries to help us out here. So another source that I use often had said that there are many military leaders within the country who are fully on board and willing to support Trump with his plans, but they also want something in return. How that makes them patriots is beyond me. And their request was war with China, which that seems counterproductive to what we're doing. It's probably going to happen anyway, but let's try it this way first. My goodness. Okay, so Plan B, which they talked about briefly, was Texas secedes from the Union. The current governor, who is owned by the Chinese, is removed, and I believe it's A.G. Patrick takes the governorship, and then President Trump becomes the expected executive head of Texas. Okay, that sounds okay for Texas, but it doesn't sound very good for the rest of us. Now, there are several very conservative states that could secede from the U.S. also. But if Pedo Joe and Camo Ho and the Democrats and the Chinese are in control, all those conservative states are still going to be attacked, in my opinion. Just because you secede and declare yourself a separate state from the United States isn't going to stop the traitors from attacking you. And that leaves the rest of us in socialist states helpless. But that Plan A, think about it. Let me know what you think. Sounds feasible, but what do we got? A week? I imagine they've been working on this for a while. We're just hearing about it now. But that's all I got. Like, share, subscribe, comment, notification bell. For now, JT, signing off.